Here is a 2024 Maserati Granturismo Trofeo and Bianca over red and red interior. 79 horsepower less than the MC20, 0.4 seconds slower 0 to 60. So is this a bargain deal for a Maserati? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and that's what we're going to explain. You're getting the MC20 lights that's integrating into the new grille. I like the Trofeo grille style better. And the reason why is on the lower, you get the gloss black, but you also get the Bianca here, which illustrates that the bumper goes even lower. If you option the Modena, this is going to be all gloss black or matte black, depending on the trim that you get, in which the grille looks like it's just coming out and there's nothing to hold it. So this gives more of an aerodynamic look that goes up onto the muscular fenders, and you get some air vents now in the front to deplete the air out of that Natuna engine. I like how it keeps a Ferrari segment, but yet going to the 21st century. And what I mean by that, you now get an active grille shutter for that grille. Vertical bars, it's gonna be a more circular grille, which I kind of like the traditional where it was cut here and it wasn't a complete circle, because when it's a circle, it does take away from some of that athletic look, but it keeps the iconic Maserati style in an exotic blend. Staggered wheel setup, 20-inch in the front, 21-inch in the rear. It's a 265/30 in the front, 295/30 in the rear. Brembo brake setup with the Maserati badging, red brake caliper, 6 pistons housed in the front, 2-piece rotor, ventilated and slotted. This is track ready. You get a top speed at 199 miles per hour, which is 3 miles less than the MC20. Underneath the hood is a 3.0 liter V6 Nettuno engine, twin turbo, producing 542 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to the 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, achieving 18 mpgs for the city and 27 mpgs for the highway, reaching 60 at 3.3 seconds. If you option the Modena, you're at 3.7 seconds. So each vehicle is around 0.4 seconds either quicker or slower when you're comparing to the MC20. So the packages that you're getting is a Ferrari sculpted look with Maserati 100% underneath the hood, the whole suspension layout with electronic limited slip differential and standard all-wheel drive, which is rear wheel bias. And you know that you can get more horsepower and torque out of this Natuna engine because that's what we're getting it in the MC20. So my question is, which one would be better, a 4-seat or a super sports car 2-seater? It's going to be two different worlds. This one's going to ride a little bit more comfortable, whereas that one's going to be a little bit more rigid. Both of them, as you already know, they're going to be quick. The rear takes it up a notch. You're getting some more styling cues from other Maseratis for the rear tail lights. It integrates into a straight line bar that gets the gloss black Maserati script. If you option the Modena, you're getting 59 horsepower less, 99 pound-feet of torque less. So it's detuned additional opposed to the Trofeo. All the business comes into the lower. Quad exhaust tips, a touch of the carbon fiber, and they don't go all over the top. So the diffuser is going to get the matte black. Reverse sensors and a 360-degree reverse camera. And what makes this a little bit more unique is on the shark fin antenna, there's a little touch of gloss black. That will be the digital rear view mirror. This is an option, and you kind of want to option this package because the rear is going to bulge up, giving that V8 proportion, more muscular stance, and just how it's sculpted all around, keeping a Ferrari resemblance and heritage to a lot of different variants of the Maserati, with the all-new Natuna engine that is exclusive to the Maserati brand. Kick to open or power trunk lid that goes into 11 cubic feet of storage. You do have a pass-through underneath, and underneath you'll have the battery and a 12-volt charger. For a 2+2 sports car, it has a wide opening, very easy to access, and the bumper sits up just a little bit, but this is the new Nettuno detuned. We need to go inside, start it up, so you can hear that exhaust. 12-way power seat adjustments, heated, ventilated, Maserati badging. You get the matte black in between, perforated with contrast stitching, memory for the driver. Gotta adjust this back because I'm tall. Headroom, not a problem for the front, nor is leg space. Aluminum paddles, and on both sides, you're gonna have a sufficient amount for the leg space. The Granturismo starts off with a flat, more sporty design for the top part of the dashboard. Contrast stitching in red, digital clock. Everything is redesigned with the Italian flag. Perforated starts the second tier with the Granturismo badging. Two-screen layout. The top is a 12.3 with navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio, Wi-Fi hotspot, Maserati Connect. Push it into reverse, and we have a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory. You can change different angles for the camera. Put it back into park, which this is going to separate the 8.8-inch touchscreen, which stays standard with your climate control, ventilated heated seats, and heated steering wheel. If you want to change for the lights outside, you just simply click on 2 here, and this is basically everything for the vehicle. So the ambient lighting, turn up and down the audio sound system, auto start stop, you can disable it, and you can raise and lower the suspension of the Granturismo. Wireless charging pad, open up the carbon fiber for a storage pocket. This would be the way the old key fob would be for the Maserati. The new key fob, and this is all going to be similar as the Grecale layout. It's going to be more sporty. I do like the design that comes in, opens up into 2 USBs at 12 volts, leather wrap steering wheel, 3-spoke, multi-function, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, the driver mode select, which you can just change right here, in which it will change on the display layout. Push button start, perforated on the side, soft on the top, aluminum pedal shifters, and the digital gauge cluster that can be configured with different layouts. And it can go through an array of information for the driver. Sonos fiber sound system. The red interior comes into play with the satin aluminum and the contrast stitching carbon fiber. I do like the design. They really are paying attention to detail. Push to get out, and it's going to be more sporty. This also picks up a smaller storage pocket, and here's the lever just in case you can't push this button. You want to do it old style, you just lift that up to get out. Sonos fiber with the aluminum inlays. And a digital rear view mirror. To go into the rear, lift this lever. It's going to slide forward electronically. You will have more space than the prior gen of 2019 and under. Headspace is going to start off a little bit tight. This is a coupe. Leg space isn't necessarily too bad, but it's going to make it a little bit tighter for the driver if you're 6'3". I like the air vent because it's already stationed which way. You just do up and down. Cup holders, USB. It's very simplified. This area here, I don't necessarily like the pass through because of the way it just kind of folds out. Kind of wish it integrated in here. And on the sides, you'll have a little bit of an area that you could just kind of relax. It is going to be a lot more wider. Sonos fiber comes into the rear, a smaller window for the back. Taking the new detuned engine that's detuned, a 3.0 liter twin turbo V6, 542 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. Like I was saying on the exterior, 79 horsepower less, 78 pound-feet of torque less. It's not a huge difference in performance. 0.4 seconds to 0 to 60, and this is 3.3 seconds, which is insane. I do like the digital rear view mirror because it helps with blind spot monitoring, even though we have it. We also have the adaptive cruise control, so you are getting a lot of luxury amenities inside the vehicle, and you're still getting the sport performance that comes out of the brand. So I do like how they have went that route, because the interior does look immaculate. It's definitely going to take me to some pros and cons, but first we're going to check the turn radius and do a little performance. Turn radius at a stop point, it's a little bit longer than the prior gen, is about 2 and a part lane, just in comfort. In everyday drive, you're going to be hitting about 3 RPMs, but I like that you can hear the exhaust filtering into the interior all the time. The air vents, the way they're structured, you can feel the air good too, even in the back seat. So before we get to the performance, it's going to take me to some pros about the vehicle. The interior styling on this is night and day difference from the prior gen. They stopped this vehicle back in 2019, so it's been a few years and I think they have tailored it good. Some other positives is you have more leg space in the back seats. I can actually fit back there in the coupe. I don't have to go to a convertible, which they do not have right now. You also have more storage in the cargo, and the design on the exterior keeps the iconic, exotic Maserati stance. And it has a bit of traditional Ferrari blended in. So when you're thinking about what you're getting, the price has increased significantly from the 2019 model, but you are getting a more sculpted exterior, a more plush interior, more tech driven and more power, and it's all done by Maserati. We put it into Corsa, which will change the RPM layout on the gauge cluster and the heads-up display, so it looks more aggressive. The paddle shifters, they're aluminum, 3.30 to 60. Let's see. I think I can vouch for that. It's definitely a quick car. It's so quick, you just want to keep feeding into it because it keeps that exhaust note, especially around the 3 RPM, which is when it just goes into full peak performance. This is derived out of F1 technology, so it is very unique, but it's going to take me to some cons about the vehicle. There is a lot of Grecale, there is a lot of Alfa Romeo, in which I don't want to see some of those items in a vehicle that's $200,000+. I like the infotainment screen, the MIA or Maserati Intelligent Assist, but this is also a Uconnect, which I understand it's a user-friendly interface, and I appreciate that. And nowadays, a lot of vehicles are doing it. Again, just kind of change it a bit, because in the MC20, it does look a little bit better. Push buttons to put it in gear, not a fan of that. Listen to this. Some other negatives, the steering wheel is out of Alfa Romeo. I understand that we're trying to get away from Ferrari, but I would have liked to see maybe a little bit more Ferrari for the steering wheel design, just because they're basically in the same factory. The climate control is good because it stays stationed. I just don't like how everything is touch derived. The clock can be configured, which is cool, but I would keep it on analog because it's traditional for the Maserati. And I like the textures and feels that you get out of the cabin in this because it really has a more exquisite feel. The seats are comfortable. It is missing massage seats and maybe a few more power adjustments, but when you get into this price, typically this is the norm. You're not really expecting to get something more than that. Not a big fan of the charms that come into the vehicle, meaning your turn signals when you start the car or when you turn off the car, but it's really hard to deny how good of a vehicle this is because you're getting the power and performance. Do I miss the V8? Yes. The engine really does give you the go and the fun factor. Driving this, you're just going to be more relaxed too. The MC20 is going to be a little bit more edgy. Comparing to rivals, I think Maserati is definitely taking it up a step because it's not just exotic, it goes into luxury and an everyday drive. Standard all-wheel drive, adaptive air suspension. You can also lower or raise the suspension to make it easy to go over any speed bumps because it is low to the ground. I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Maserati Tampa for giving us this 2024 Maserati Granturismo Trofeo for our car review.